But I think what helped me the most is that I was such a I hope I still am, like I was such a driven and hardworking person that people got encouraged to help. But and I think without them, without the help of all my ballet teachers that tried to, they searched every company, wrote letters, a lot of that. It would have never been possible for me.
So, Kanya, you are in Germany at the moment. So, where exactly are you based?
Right now I'm based in the north of Germany.
Yeah.
In a city called Detmold. It's a very small city, very beautiful city in the north of Germany.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you are there with the ballet company?
Yes, so I'm working with the theater of the city. It's called Landestheater Detmold. So it's a city. It's the theater of the city here.
Okay. But can you tell me, how did you start in ballet? Because you're from South Africa.
Yes, I am. Very far away.
Yeah.
So I started with ballet, not really it being ballet, but it being dance at school. So it was offered as a subject. And you had to choose one of three things, whether it was music, it was art, or it was dance studies. So I chose dancing because I couldn't sing or play a musical instrument. I couldn't draw to save my life. So I just went with the dance studies because I had a lot of energy as a kid. And my mom was like, well, there you go.
But
And at the,
how old were you at the time?
I think I was about 6 or 7 years old when I
Because
started
they're
doing
still
and
young.
yeah, and at the time it was just really at school. It wasn't really sort of amateur. It was just more dance studies and more creative movement.
Yeah.
But the teacher at the time had studied ballet, and she was a ballet teacher, but she couldn't really teach us ballet because it was in a school environment where you go once a week or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but I remember after about a year of doing that, she asked me if I'm interested to do this as, for more. I was kind of sort of a teacher's pet at the time. So, of course, I was like, yes,
Oh, really?
sounds
Yeah.
like a great idea. I don't
Where
know.
did you, which town was it that you lived in?
So I live in Guguletu, which is a township in Cape Town, but I went to school. I went to primary school in Ottery, which was kind of like a suburban area in
Okay.
Cape Town. And so I did it for about a year at school and as part of my other subject at school. And then she said to me after a year, you want to continue doing real ballet somewhere else? And I thought, well, I mean, I don't know what I said yes, not knowing exactly what I'm saying yes to. And I remember there was the Cape Town City Ballet had a male development program. It was called the Cape Town City Ballet Male Development Program. It was an outreach program to promote young boys to start ballet who come from like impoverished areas and doesn't really have access to ballet. And I went there. She sent me there, and I went there. And it was just one class a week. And from then it developed into more. So I was just doing one class a week, and then eventually I joined the Cape Junior Ballet School, which was under Diane Cheeseman. And yeah, that's where I had most of my training then.
But now, you said you come from Guguletu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a township. And what is the views on ballet when you grow up in a township? And because also there's a lot of
Yeah.
cultural differences there.
Absolutely. I mean, there was just I think at the time, everybody, especially when I was younger, it was more sort of admiration for doing something that was not the normal. I think the
Okay.
problems really arose when I wanted to do it as a career more so. When I was much older, when I decided, okay, this is what I wanted to do, then people kind of saw it as very sort of unconventional, unreliable, not really, you can't go anywhere with that, you can't do anything with it. But when I was younger, it was just, oh, he's doing ballet because it was really meaning, it was just extra on top of everything else that I was doing. I did, all my school, just like everybody else. And then I would go to ballet after school. So at that time, it was fun. But as I got older and as I decided to make it, I wanted it as a career, obviously other things had to fall away in order to focus really on my ballet. Then that's when people started coming with their opinions of,
Yeah.
oh, this is not really something you should be doing. You should go study. You're really good at school. Why are you not doing that? It's an unreliable career, or you don't make much money off it, or all of those things. So yeah, that's when I experienced a lot of pushback from people in
Yeah.
the later stages. Yeah.
But also that in South Africa, it's a lot about sport, and it's a lot about football and rugby and that sort of thing for boys. Did you have, in that sense, did you have some negativity from other boys because you do ballet?
Absolutely. I mean, I had a lot of bullying as a kid. I had, yes, I did, from at school and also just in the township in general, because people didn't understand what it is that I was doing. And I think it was more so of a, when you're doing something that is very unconventional that people feel like they can't do, or for whatever reason they can't really do it themselves, then they always find a reason to push down or to hold back the person that is doing it. So it was coming from that mostly than anything else. But yeah, I did experience a lot of bullying from other boys for sure.
But then you went to Cape Town City Ballet, the school. There's a ballet school in Cape Town.
So it was just a program to encourage boys to do ballet. And so I joined that first, and then after I went into the Cape Junior Ballet School, which was another school by Diane Cheeseman, and then that's when I trained from, I would say, about 14 till 18. Um, and then that's when I did everything. That's when I did a lot of ballet competitions. I did summer schools. I did all my RAD vocational exams. I did. That's what I did most of everything: touring, traveling, lots of performing. Because she also had a company, a junior company attached to it. So it was the Cape Junior Ballet School
Oh, I
and a Cape
see.
Junior Ballet Company as well. And it was just the idea of the school kids having some sort of a junior company experience. And we were, so it was a school all week, but on the weekends would be the junior company, and that's what we did. And with the company we toured a lot and we danced all over South Africa, and we even came to I remember, I think we came to Portugal when I was about 15 or so.
Really?
Yeah, first time on an airplane.
Oh,
First time
really?
overseas. Yeah, yeah, it was a crazy thing. It opened my mind up completely.
And then your family, did they support you all the way? Your mum, and was she happy that you did that you did the training and so on?
So yeah, so for my mom, it was as well. Like she was always kind of very proud of me and always a little bit, yeah, she was happy with me doing ballet. But I think as well with her, it became very difficult when I think I remember I decided I really want to be a professional ballet dancer when I was quite late. Actually, I was 17. I just came back from a summer school in New York, and I thought, okay, this is it. Like I really want to do this, because then there I had seen professional ballet dancers and I'd seen what it was all about. Um, and I remember that's when everything, my focus shifted completely. And I said, this is what I want to do. And that's when kind of like with her as well, like the conflict was a little bit there, because she thought I was doing so well at school and I was doing so well at many other things that she had hoped that um, was going to become, I don't know, an accountant, a doctor, lawyer, which is a
Oh,
very stereotypical thing, but really, really, she really thought so. And I thought so too for the longest time, but um, I wanted to do it. I loved ballet. I loved the challenge of it, and I loved not where I saw it take me in my life. And I think that it came a point where she just had to trust me and trust the process of me. And since then, I mean, she's been the most number one supportive person in my life.
really?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot thank her enough. But of course, I could see how she struggled with the idea of letting go of the accountant Khanya, or
Oh,
that. Yeah, she struggled
uh,
to let go of that quite a bit. And but she did. I mean, I when I finished Cape Junior Ballet School when I was 18, I went to go train privately. Again, very unconventional. I went to Martin Schonberg, a very good teacher, and I trained with him privately for about 2.5 years before I eventually moved to Europe. And there again, it was just all trust and trusting that I'm
mm.
making the right decisions and going to the right direction.
But now, what was it that made you decide to leave South Africa?
That's a good question. I think I remember when I was in Cape Junior Ballet School, there was one boy that I kind of looked up to. He was a little bit older than me. And I watched his journey, and I think it was one. I mean, subconsciously, I didn't realize that I was kind of trying to follow his path. Um, he finished at Catering Ballet School, and he moved to England to English National Ballet School, and he graduated and he joined the Northern Ballet in Leeds. And I was watching this growing up and was trying to replica and do everything he's doing to because I subconsciously, so I didn't realize that I was doing that until I was much older. And I think watching him and seeing how his life developed and how his life completely changed, and just him talk about the appreciation of the art form in another country, made me and encouraged me so much and pushed me subconsciously. So it's only now when I look back and I realize my journey that, oh my God, actually, I was just following in his footsteps. And I wanted it because I saw what it did for him. And he was just another boy from the township right next to me. So to see his dreams come true made and encouraged me to want to push for mine. Um,
So
yeah.
who is he? What is his name?
Mlindi Kulashe. I don't know if you know him.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh,
Yes, his
oh,
name is Mlindi Kulashe. He's soloist in Northern Ballet. Yeah.
oh, wow. Yeah. And you say he also came. So there was somebody for you to look up to, and there was somebody that you can. And I think these role models are so important for children,
Absolutely.
to know what is possible, you know?
Absolutely. There's so much for like representation is so important because I mean, I only became a ballet dancer or only wanted to move overseas because I saw somebody else do it. And not just a somebody else, but somebody else that came from the same circumstances as me. So I wanted it because I saw, oh, he could do it. It was possible for him. And I wanted to do it. And thinking back, there was so much in my life, whether it be the people, my family, or outside of my family, that didn't see the possibility, obviously. And I understand that they didn't because it wasn't within their vision. Um, but they didn't see that possibility. They didn't see it go as far as I saw it go. And that's why there was a very big kind of like a difference in thinking between them and me. And he completely, I mean, without me knowing it as well, he paved the way. And I thought, you know, I wanted because I saw somebody else do it too.
Yeah. And what we don't talk about enough, I think, also, and what artists also never mention is the financial aspect of this. You know, there's one thing that you can physically go and you have the talent and you can do it, but then there has to be that support as well. And when you come from a township and you come from a family where it's not possible to pay for private lessons or to pay for ballet classes, you know, these things are also things to take into consideration. And then also for somebody from South Africa to come to Europe already is another expense, you know. So was there somebody that helped you in that sense?
So most of my ballet training was sponsored. I had to go out and look for sponsorships and for different companies, different people. Um, but I think what helped me the most is that I was such a I hope I still am like I was such a driven and hardworking person that people got encouraged to help. But and I think without them, without the help of all my ballet teachers that tried to, you know, they searched every company, wrote letters, a lot of that. It would have never been possible for me. And I was just so lucky that I landed up in the right hands with people that saw and understand and saw the potential and wanted this for me as much as I wanted it for myself, and wanted to help me, you know, in my journey. Because I think back and I'm like, I would have never been able to do it financially because ballet is just very expensive and training is very expensive. So I had a lot of help along the way. I had a lot of help from a lot of different people. But I think also in essence, I was the type of person that was I wanted it so much that people weren't reluctant to offer their hand.
Yeah, they could sense it from you and support you in that way. But that's wonderful and so great that you can come to Europe now, where you can now um, live the dream that you've always had. And now, for you, what is it that what is your wish now?
Oh, that's it. So I, yeah, that's so right now. Yeah, so right now I'm obviously I'm working as a ballet dancer, which is something I've always wanted to do. I just think from now on, I want to push my career as far as I can, see how far I can go with it. But I think generally what I want, if more, is to kind of make an impact within the industry, whatever that means. I think me being a Black ballet dancer from South Africa is already a statement, and I want to push that as far as I can. I want to push the boundaries of what people think I can and cannot do because of certain things. And also, most importantly, I want for my friends, family, people from back home, or whoever, another Black boy from the township who thinks his dreams are not valuable or not valid, to understand that they are, and that they are possible, and that there are people that are going to help you pave the way to make your dreams come true, because that's what it was for me. I saw somebody do it, and I wanted it, and I made it happen for myself, and I hope that many other people get that from me. If anything, that's like, I think that's the most important thing that I want to do with my career.
Yeah. Are there many young Black boys in South Africa who have the opportunity now? Is there a way that you can inspire again um, in South Africa?
So when I went back home, so a lot of my friends have opened up, little ballet studios here and there. And when I went back,
Really?
yeah, so when I went back home, I had the opportunity to teach, and it was just really inspiring, even for me, to see these
Yeah.
young people that are so hungry. Uh, and I saw myself in so much of it, because like, it's so much more than just a career. It's your whole life changes completely. And I think it was just when going back to teach and seeing everybody was just very inspirational, even for me, as much as probably was for them. Um, yeah, to see what is possible, what really is possible if you put your mind to it, and if you are willing to do the work. So yeah, I mean, I think there could be more opportunities. Of course, I always think there could be more. However, I think a lot of people doing have little studios in Cape Town, especially, and that are trying to do their best with what they have. But it is very difficult because, of course, funding is a thing. Ballet is really, really expensive, and training a ballet dancer is just really expensive without the right support. So yeah.
Well, I spoke to Debbie Turner, director of the Cape Town City Ballet, and she also told me about little projects and a lot of things that they are doing to help and to, support children. And what we also shouldn't forget is not everybody would want to be a dancer, but that they want to have that experience, and that they would love, and that it's also beneficial to have that just the training, or just the ballet
Absolutely.
classes, just for the appreciation of the art. So
Absolutely.
mm,
And just to learn to push yourself and learn to work beyond your boundaries. I think, if anything, it opens your mind up to your own possibilities. So even if you don't end up being a ballet dancer, I think I would have, or even for me, I think I would have taken the lessons and the discipline from the art form, and just the thinking of, one day you come in, you can't do the thing, whatever it is in ballet, and you work at it until you can. So that is already a huge lesson just for life in general, that it doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like, what's your circumstances. Given the time and the energy and the effort that you put into something, you can get the outcome that you want out of it. So that's a huge thing. I mean, that's a life-changing thing already. So I think, regardless of whether people become ballet dancers or not, the life lessons in which you learn from ballet are so valuable. And I think that's where the appreciation also for the art form comes into, regardless of whether you dance or not.
yeah. Well, that's beautifully said, and that's exactly what I think. And that in all forms of art really is so important. And like you say, that's the valuable life lessons that you learn also through that. Do you also do some choreography? Well,
So
have you
I've
interested in that?
I have dipped my toes in it. I did. So
Really?
yeah, I've actually never choreographed for other people. I've choreographed for myself mostly. And I've danced like a couple of solos. I think I did 3 solos on myself. And I do like the journey of choreography. I just haven't yet made it on other people. But I am considering it, because every season, at the end of the season in the theater, we have young choreographers, which is an opportunity for us, the dancers, to make works on ourselves. And last year, I was thinking, oh, I should make something, but there was the pandemic, there was a lot going on,
Yeah.
so it was very difficult. But I think I'm thinking this season to take my first dip into it and
Do
see
it.
how it would be. Yeah, to see how
Yeah.
it would be for me to put my visions up against other people and to try to make
Yeah.
them come to light. Because I've been able to do it on myself and it's been fine, but it would be very interesting journey to see how I replicate that on other people.
Yeah, you're very creative because I see also on Facebook and Instagram you are very creative, and
I
I
love
think
it.
this would, yeah, that you should
I
really do that.
absolutely. I think, yeah. I think if anything, like whether I'm a dancer or not, I love just being creative. Whether it be with my clothing, because I'm very eccentric of how I dress, with just how I do everything. I try to make it. I put creativity into it all. So yeah, I love it. I love looking up different art forms. I love everything. So I definitely, it's something I'm considering to dip my toes into.
Yes,
See
yeah,
how
do
good
it.
I am
But
at
you tell
that.
me, you tell me when you do something.
I'll send you the videos.
Yeah. But okay, now Kanye, tell me, what do you miss most about South Africa?
The weather.
Really?
No, well, no, yes, of course, I miss my family and the
Yeah.
people. Because actually, it's funny because as much as I left South Africa now, I think it's 4 years that I'm not living at home. I still have the same circle of friends and people that I grew up with
Really?
still today, and I'm still as well connected with them. So I miss obviously that. I miss the connectivity of family and friends because I'm very close to my friends at home. I grew up with them. I shared my entire life with them, and my family. And yeah, the weather. I miss the weather. Cape Town weather is just
Yeah.
undeniably beautiful, and
And
it's
the
amazing.
sea and the mountain and everything. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I can get over it. I can get over that a bit, like the city and all of that. But I can get over it a little bit because I mean I like Europe. I think it's absolutely beautiful. There's so much history and architecture that but yeah, the weather is still something I'm fighting with.
Yeah. So do you have interest in architecture?
So I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah.
So I like any sort of artistic element, so design, architecture, all of it. I'm very much so uh, anything beauty.
Aware of
Anything,
it.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
and I'm very interested in it. I think I'm just I'm a creative in general. Like I don't think it's just I'm a dancer and that's what I do. Like I'm an art, like I'm stuck in that. I'm very I love creativity in general, in whatever shape or form it comes. I mean, I spend a lot of my nights watching singers on YouTube. Like I just love watching it. I
Really?
don't know. Yes, I do, and I connect to it very well. Like it's the same thing, but it's a different form. And I love listening to them talk about their work and their art and their creativity because I find it's the same but different. And sometimes it's nice to hear it from somebody who does something else
Yeah.
because whatever it is, it clicks and it sits with you, or hearing it differently always makes you think of it differently as well in your way, or you see how they're watching a singer go through whatever they have to sing, and you see how they merge the technical aspect with the artistic aspect, and you think, oh, how would I do that in my dancing? How would I pull that off in my dancing? So I love doing that. I love watching things. I love looking at architecture. I love seeing design. I love it all. Anything
That's
creative.
great. Yeah. But that all those influences, then you should be choreographing. You can
I
then use all these influences.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I do know what I tend to think I have too much going on. Like I have a lot going on that it almost is the difficulty is making a decision.
Oh,
For me,
yeah.
because I have so much influence, I have so much material, like and things that I'm thinking about and wanting to work with, that it almost ends up going, oh, I don't know what to choose because I want that, but I want to put that and I want to do that too, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
so I think I just have to come to a point of like structuring it and making fine decisions. But
Yeah.
I am that person. I am the type of personality that thinks about something for a long time and then it feels like an all of a sudden decision to somebody watching from the outside. But actually, I've been, it's been like a year of thinking about
Brewing.
it,
Yeah.
and
Brewing.
then
You're
I do it.
brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're brewing on it.
Yes, yes, brewing.
Okay, Okay, so now, Khanya, what do you do before a performance? How do you prepare? Are you one of those people who just say, "Don't talk to me," and I'm in my dressing room and I have to zone in, or how? What do you do before?
So I used to, because I used to get really, 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 really nervous before a show. So I used to be really like um more of a panic the show, like, oh God, do I
Ah,
go over all the choreography? Do I know what I'm doing? But I think over the years I've tend to lean into, so I push myself really hard in the rehearsal process so that when it gets to the performance, I'm able to really just trust and lean on the work that I did prior. So now I just take it really easy. Like
okay.
before performance, I don't have any rituals because I don't want to be stuck to
Oh yeah, yeah.
because then you become superstitious. Then it's like, oh, I put the
Mm.
right shoe on before the left shoe, and then
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't want to get into that. I don't want to have outside factors kind of be in control
Mm.
of me. So I really, I think one of the most calming experiences in going is having your makeup done. Like when you go to the theater, before the show, having your makeup done, going to the to do your training before the show. It's just all of that. That the routine for me is very calming because it's familiar. So the minute that's that routine, and I like to just take a moment before I go on stage just to kind of breathe, calm down, and like really feel like feet on the ground. And then, I mean, once I'm on stage, I forget about being nervous anyway. But the prior, I take it really easy. I try
Okay.
to be calm and rely on the fact that I did what I needed to do before I got here.
Yeah, but it's that reassurance then that you have. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, but this was now so lovely to talk to you on Zoom. I mean, I have talked to you before, but in real, so we know each other in real.
Yes,
But
we did.
but it is so insightful what you're telling, and I think you're such a positive person, and your outlook on life and how you see things, and I think it's wonderful, that you have that ability.
Thank you.
And I'm sure this dream and this wish that you have, this will come true because
I hope so.
you've come from from wanting to come to Europe. You've come from going through the whole process, and now it's just um, it's all going to happen now for you.
Yes, I'm ready for
Yeah.
it. I'm ready.
No, definitely. But Kanye, when you come to Vienna again, please, the last time I missed you and
Oh
we
yes,
see each other, yeah, but please come again and let me know and we can grab a coffee.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
always love chatting to you. So
Yeah, no, definitely come. Okay.
absolutely.
But all the best and keep me updated with that choreography you're going to do.
Thank you. I'll send
Yeah.
videos. I'm interested to know what you think now.
Yeah, and we can have a nice discussion and promote it for you.
Perfect. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. It can also be, yeah.
Sure. Look at that.
Are all your browsers closed on the computer? Because
To
if
do that,
Facebook or anything like that is open, it also
it breaks
affects.
it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's
so that you just have Zoom open.
it's mostly my shopping, but it's mostly all my
That's
shopping. But
you said.
ever since the pandemic, it just has not stopped,
Oh,
Like
okay.
the online shopping has just not stopped. I'm still living in pandemic times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. It's really horrible actually. It's become a real habit.
Well, you're doing much good for the economy. So see it that way.
Yeah, bad for my
Yeah.
bank account, that's for sure. It's good for the economy, but it's so bad for my bank account.
Kanye is saving the world from an economic disaster.
Exactly. One clothing item at a time. One shopping spree at a time. My God. Okay, so I've posted everything. I hope now this works.
I think now it's going to work. Yeah, I think it's that it's the divided attention from the shops
The
he's
shop.
talking to me. They're just cutting in. No,
As
Khanya,
usual,
you're
taking
not.
up all the space. As usual, they're taking up all the space.
Yeah, now it's clear. Now it's
Okay.
100% clear. Okay.
I'm happy about that. That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, Khanya, but we'll have to start again. But as I
Okay.
say, you're a ballet dancer. You start
It's
all
perfect.
over again.
One more time is our
One more
phrase
time.
for life.
One more time. 3, 4, and.